Right now, trance music, especially progressive trance, is experiencing a real revival. The 20-year nostalgia cycle has once again brought attention to the culture of the 2000s, and trance is being rediscovered both by longtime fans and a new generation of listeners. More and more, you can hear it influencing mainstream music. Modern producers are reinterpreting the classic trance formula, and we can clearly see it in tracks like Bebe Rexha's Hysteria. Today's pop music is fast, chaotic, and aggressive. Sometimes it feels like several tracks layered into one. 20 years ago, trance was more of a niche genre, but now it's becoming one of the trending formulas for creating hits. Even groups like BLACKPINK in Jump and KATSEYE in Pinky Up have tapped into the sound. Trance is a genre of electronic dance music known for its hypnotic rhythms, euphoric melodies, and emotional build-ups that create a near-transcendent listening experience. It draws from both techno and house. Originating in Germany in the late 1980s and early 1990s, trance typically ranges between 128 and 140 BPM. It is built on repeating melodic phrases, dramatic breakdowns, and soaring synths designed to immerse listeners on the dance floor. Jump by BLACKPINK runs at around 145 BPM. While Pinky Up by KATSEYE sits closer to 76 BPM. Yet both tracks sample Meet Her at the Love Parade by Dahul. While working on this video, I looked for similar references and found tracks like Mr. Vane Recall by Culture Beat, as well as Roll with Ice by Armand Jean. And Do You Wanna Dance by KXCHR. They all carry a similar energy. Trance music originally emerged from underground electronic scenes in Germany and the Netherlands in the late 80s. Producers were searching for a more melodic and emotional alternative to the harsher techno sounds dominating clubs at the time. One of the pioneers of this movement was Paul van Dyk, who would later become one of the most influential figures in trance. And we'll come back to him when discussing the genre's evolution. One of the key innovations in early trance was the so-called acid sound, heavily used in early techno tracks. This led to the emergence of acid trance in the early 1990s, largely driven by the iconic Roland TB-303, which revolutionized electronic music. A standout example of the sound is Trance and Acid by Kai Tracid. By around 1997, producers began moving away from acid-based sounds, shifting the focus toward melody. Acoustic elements became more prominent, with melodic lines taking center stage while still maintaining the atmospheric trance background. Artists experimented with intensity and progression, leading to the rise of progressive trance, a style defined by evolving builds and more complex breakdowns. Tracks like Castles in the Sky by Ian Van Dahl and Sandstorm by Darude became iconic examples of this era. Progressive trance also influenced DJ techniques, emphasizing smooth transitions and continuous flow rather than isolated tracks. Artists like Sasha and John Digweed played a key role in shaping the genre, especially through compilations like Northern Exposure. I'm not naming everyone here, so if I miss someone important, feel free to mention them in the comments. As the genre grew in popularity, it inevitably attracted commercial attention. By the late 1990s, progressive trance began to transform into a more accessible, mainstream-friendly sound. In 1998, Paul van Dyk released For an Angel, a track that achieved massive success. With its simpler structure and melodic appeal, it helped give rise to Eurotrance, a more commercial version of the genre. Eurotrance tracks often featured female vocals, quickly filled radio airwaves. These songs were more structured like traditional pop songs, making them easier for mass audiences to connect with. However, this shift also meant that the original underground spirit of progressive trance was gradually lost. Paul van Dyk played a crucial role in bringing trance to a global audience. For many listeners, his music was their first introduction to the genre. By around 1999, some DJs and producers began reflecting on the roots of trance and attempted to revive its original purpose. This led to the emergence of uplifting trance, a style that reinforced emotional depth while evolving from Eurotrance. Vocals were still present at times, but the focus shifted back to emotional impact. Among more recent examples, I'd highlight tracks like Turn It Up by Amara CTK 100 and Jump Hard Submundo by Christopher Luz. As we can see, after roughly a decade of development, trance culture evolved into something much bigger than just a subgenre of electronic music. So technically, interest in trance never really disappeared. However, in 2023, there was a noticeable spike in its popularity, and over the last 6 months, this sound has been used in mainstream music. So beyond Bebe Rexha, BLACKPINK, and KATSEYE, we're likely to hear many more tracks inspired by trance in the near future. And if we're talking about current mainstream trends, I recommend checking out my video about Slater, who is working in the now resurgent hyper-pop genre and gained a lot of attention this year after releasing her new album.